want y'all to go like and share, get some people on this live, mainly because I'm about to reveal some stuff that, Lord just told me to talk about today. Worst thing that could happen. It is, of course, happened to me. I'm trying to keep from crying because the devil was very particular in targeting me. But anyway, I was rushed to the hospital because I wasn't breathing so well.
Angie Stone is gone. But what if I told you that just 24 hours before her death, she posted a chilling video that might hold the key to what really happened?
Like I said, I can't call any names because I'm not that vicious. I don't want to hurt anybody, and I really don't want it to be their downfall. But I will tell you, people left me in that dark, dark moment when I really needed support.
The world was shocked when it was revealed that the woman behind some of the most soulful hits in R&B lost her life in a car accident. But almost immediately, questions started pouring in. Fans were suspicious. Was this really just an accident, or is there more to the story? Her final social media post sent chills down her followers' spines. In the now-deleted video, Angie spoke about industry secrets, warning that some truths were too dangerous to expose. She looked tense, almost as if she knew something was coming. And now, just a day later, she's gone. What was in that final video? And why are so many people connecting her death to the powerful forces she was fighting against?
I wasn't in a position to really fight that. I had to fight to live. So I couldn't worry about that because I knew that it would take care of itself, but not without the devil trying to blame me for the mishap.
Just 24 hours before her tragic passing, Angie Stone posted a video that left her fans shaken. In the footage, Angie appeared distressed, her voice heavy with emotion as she spoke about the dangers she was facing. She didn't say who was behind it, but her message was clear. She felt targeted, robbed, and silenced.
I don't care what they think about me. I just want people to know that when you get in this industry, there are so many twists and turns. And even though you have the Almighty God with you, they still gonna try you. Because just because I believe in God don't mean they believe in God. They don't believe in God.
One of the most chilling moments came when she said, "They've been trying to take everything from me, my music, my money, my voice. But I'm still here. I won't let them bury the truth." The words struck a nerve with fans, especially given her long history of battling the industry. But what did she mean by bury the truth? Well, Angie also mentioned that she was being followed, that certain people wanted her gone, and that she knew they were closing in on her. "If something happens to me, just know, I won't go quietly." Those words sent shockwaves across social media when the news of her accident broke. Many folks started questioning if this was really just a tragic coincidence, or if someone had made sure she would never speak again. Another key part of her message was her frustration over being cheated out of what was rightfully hers. She hinted at new legal action, exposing powerful figures in the music business who had allegedly stolen from her. But was this the reason she was suddenly gone? Was Angie trying to warn us? And more importantly, was someone trying to stop her from exposing the truth?
For some people, they might be happy that it happened to me because everybody don't wish good things for you. Some people wish bad things for you. And just because we're in the industry doesn't mean we're not human. Things happen all the time. And unfortunately, when this happened, I just wasn't prepared for it.
Angie Stone wasn't just an incredible artist. She was a fighter. And for years, one of her biggest battles was against the industry. She had publicly spoken about how the system mistreated artists, especially Black women in R&B, robbing them of their earnings while executives walked away with millions.
A lot of my publishing, a lot of my royalties, my mechanicals, they have all pretty much been stolen.
One of the biggest fights of her career was with Universal Music Group. Angie had spent decades making hit records, but she later found out that she wasn't getting the money she was owed. It all started when she noticed royalty checks weren't adding up. Angie had written and performed on some of the most influential R&B tracks, but the money wasn't reflecting that success. After digging deeper, She uncovered missing payments, wrong accounting, and agreements that seemed to keep her away from seeing her fair share.
After 40-something years in the business, I'm like, well, why? Where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been receiving all my royalties, all my mechanicals. They've taken pretty much everything. They've stolen, I won't say stolen, but they have taken all the monies that were due to me.
For years, she tried to handle things privately, but when the label continued to ignore her, she decided to go public. She wasn't afraid to call them out, exposing the ways in which artists were manipulated into unfair contracts. In her interviews, she stated, "They take everything from us, our music, our earnings, our control, and expect us to stay silent. But I won't be." Her fight with UMG wasn't just about money, it was about exposing a corrupt system, and she wasn't alone. Other artists had faced similar struggles, but many were too afraid to speak out. Angie, however, wasn't one to back down. In the months before her passing, she was preparing to file a lawsuit against Universal Music Group. This lawsuit wasn't just about her own missing money. It was set to expose the label's practices, potentially opening the floodgates for other artists to come forward. But before she could take that step, she was gone. We've seen this before, artists speaking out against industry giants, only to end up silenced. Could Angie have been next in line?
So I'm just here to let you know, one way or the other, Universal Music, you're going to have to give up my coins. And so what I'm doing now is whatever is necessary to make sure they pay me for the legacy of my life, for my children and my grandchildren. They're going to have to give me my money.
If Angie Stone's was truly more than just an accident, it wouldn't be the first time an artist has died under mysterious circumstances after speaking out. The music industry has a long history of losing its biggest stars right when they start exposing secrets or fighting back against the system. One of the most well-known cases is Michael Jackson. Before his passing in 2009, Michael had been open about the corruption in the industry. He publicly accused major record labels of enslaving black artists, and he was especially vocal about Sony Music. He even called out its then-chairman, Tommy Mottola, labeling him the devil.
Tommy Mottola is a devil. Mariah Carey, after divorcing Tommy, came to me crying. She was crying so badly I had to hold her. And she said to me that this is an evil man. And Michael, this man follows me, she said. He taps her phones, and he's very, very evil, and she doesn't trust him. And he is a horrible human being, and we have to continue our drive until he's terminated.
In one of his last recorded conversations, Michael allegedly told people close to him that he was afraid for his life. He believed that people were trying to silence him. Then, just months later, he was gone. Prince also raised alarms before his death. He was one of the most vocal artists when it came to exposing the control labels had over their artists. He fought tirelessly for ownership of his own music, even changing his name to a symbol at one point to escape his contract with Warner Brothers.
It's a double-edged sword, you know. A lot of artists aren't getting paid full scale for their art, and the internet, because of downloading and things like that, is kind of like a black hole, and it's hard to audit, it's hard to get accounting, and it's not that it's just about the money, but it's about justice and fairness. And when people say that they love you and they respect you, but at the same time take, 80% of your earnings, then expect you to fix your own communities, and they'll probably edit all of this out, but that's the sharp part of the sword, and we're at the wrong end of it right now. So eventually, with courageous people going out there and actually saying something and standing up for it, I think we'll get some balance.
In the years leading up to his death, Prince warned about the dangers of the industry, telling younger artists to watch their backs. But in 2016, he was suddenly found unresponsive in an elevator at his home. The official cause of death was an overdose, but many still believe there was more to the story. And then there's Aaliyah. The R&B princess tragically died in a plane crash in 2001. But there are countless unanswered questions about what really happened that night. Aaliyah was on the verge of breaking free from her former mentor and forging her own path in the industry. She was also rumored to have information about powerful figures who didn't want certain things coming to light. To this day, many fans refuse to believe her death was simply an accident. These aren't just coincidences. Time and time again, artists who challenge the industry's power or uncover secrets end up silenced, whether through tragic accidents, sudden illnesses, or overdoses that don't quite add up. And here's where it gets even more disturbing, because someone close to Angie is now coming forward with explosive allegations.
No matter who we hook up with and how we hook up, they're always going to make it confrontational when it doesn't suit their liking. But I don't care about that. I got to pass all of that. But everybody that works hard for 50 years should be able to retire in peace, should be able to sit back without looking for your money.
R&B singer and producer Al B sure has never been one to shy away from speaking the truth, and now he's making shocking claims about Angie Stone's death. According to him, Angie didn't just die in a car accident, she was taken out. Shortly after news broke of Angie's passing, Al B sure took to social media with a cryptic message. He hinted that there was a hidden agenda behind her death, suggesting that the people Angie had been fighting against were the ones responsible. But that wasn't all. He also claimed to have private messages from Angie that prove she knew she was in danger. In one leaked message, Angie allegedly told him that she was being followed and that she had discovered something big that she planned to expose. She wrote about her ongoing legal battle and how she was going to finally hold the industry accountable. But in her last message, she seemed worried, even fearful. She said she didn't trust the people around her and that she had a bad feeling about what was coming next. And then, just hours later, she was gone. Al B Sure's claims have sent fans into a frenzy, with many folk now being convinced that Angie's death wasn't just an accident. It was a cover-up. A person wrote, "I'm very suspicious of her death. The FBI needs to investigate this issue. How is it possible for all those people in the car to end up alive? I don't believe that the vehicle caused her death. This reminds me of Left Eye death. Yes, she was as well." Another one added, "Prince, Whitney, now Angie." They were all talking about their money owed to them.
The singer was leaving a performance when the crash happened. According to the Alabama law enforcement agency, it was on I-65 around 7 a.m.
Angie Stone's sudden death in a car crash has left fans questioning how and why it happened. But the deeper you look, the harder it is to ignore the suspicious details. First, let's talk about the crash itself. Reports say Angie was driving when her vehicle got off the road and crashed, leading to her sudden death. But here's what doesn't add up. She was the only person. There were allegedly other passengers in the vehicle, yet somehow they survived, while Angie didn't. This raises the question, why was she the only one who didn't make it? And then there's the timing. Just days before the crash, Angie had been fighting an intense legal battle against Universal Music Group, UMG. She was speaking out about missing royalties, industry corruption, and how major record labels were exploiting artists. Was it really just a coincidence that she died right when she was making noise about these issues? Experts in accident reconstruction have weighed in, and some believe this wasn't a simple case of losing control. There are ways to tamper with a car's braking and acceleration systems, making it possible for someone to orchestrate a crash. This isn't just speculation. Several high-profile cases have involved similar claims, where whistleblowers or outspoken figures have died in suspicious car accidents. One chilling example is Michael Hastings, the journalist who was investigating powerful figures when his car crashed. Some folks believe his vehicle was hacked, making it impossible for him to stop. Could something similar have happened to Angie? Authorities were quick to call it an accident, but no one has explained why it happened, what exactly caused the crash, or if foul play was ruled out. Why is there so little transparency? With so many unanswered questions, Angie's death feels more like a crime scene than a tragic accident.
Her songwriting skills were second to none, literally. She wrote a lot of songs for the Sugar Hill Gang label that she never got credit for. And, but she was just an incredible talent. I mean, when I say very smart, she was just a very, very smart woman.
While there's still a lot of mystery surrounding her death, one thing is clear. Angie Stone left an unforgettable mark on the music industry. She wasn't just an R&B legend. She was a voice for truth and justice in the industry. She fought for her rights and wasn't afraid to call out other people, even when it put her at risk. Angie stood for artists being paid what they're owed, having control over their own music, and exposing the corruption that runs deep in the industry. Now, fans are refusing to let her story go unanswered. Social media has erupted with demands for a deeper investigation. People are questioning the circumstances of her death and asking for real answers. Many users believe that Angie's battle against the industry was too big to be ignored, and that she was silenced before she could bring certain truths to light. The biggest question now is, what happens next? Should more artists come forward and speak out? Angie wasn't the first to challenge the industry's control, but she also isn't the first to mysteriously lose her life after doing so. At what point do artists stop living in fear? And then there's the issue of accountability. If the music industry is really exploiting and silencing artists, then who is responsible? Where does the blame fall? And will there ever be justice? The truth is, we may never know exactly what happened to Angie Stone. But what we can do is keep her story alive. We can make sure that her fight wasn't for nothing. Rest in power, Angie. Your voice may be gone, but your truth will live on.